Where is Polygon Matic headed to next? We're going to go over that in this video. Also, we're going to talk about Ethereum. Michael Saylor has as much Bitcoin as the U.S. government. Is this a net negative for Bitcoin and the industry? We have some Ripple news, a big code change in Japan when it comes to taxes on crypto that could potentially revolutionize and bring money in. We got Dan from the Chart Guys joining us. We have so much to talk about. Let's get right into it.
Yo, boy, Big Rob back in the house. Welcome to Sin City Crypto. If it's your first time checking us out, we're the entertainment-focused cryptocurrency channel. We take old, boring, stale information and repackage that thing up in a man, oh man. I am ready. Ready for the bull market. You ready for the bull market?
Nah, man, I'm not.
No?
No. What I'm ready for,
I don't know when you're doing.
you know, on this show, Robin, on Twitter, I always give you props. You never seem to give me props. I wonder why. Happy you're not answering that question. I do want to get right into it, guys. Today's theme of the show is Polygon. Polygon to make you a lot of money, baby. Let's go. Ethereum Layer 2 token surges 12%. Shrugging off Mark Cuban's moves as price tops $1. Analyst foresees Polygon on the verge of a, quote, breakout. Robin did say $1.50 by the end of the year. We're going to go over what Robin said here in a second. But first, this article from Benzinga. A couple things I've highlighted here for you, my friends. First, go away. Analytical data from Into the Block indicates that a more than 25% increase in the holdings of Matic by whales, which are entities with holdings between $100,000 and $1 million, has increased over the past month. Then we had this. I tweeted this yesterday, so if you're not following us on Twitter, do yourselves and do it. But you listen to Rob on our live show December 21st and got into Polygon Matic, you, my friends, would be up 36%. Rob Stradamus strikes again. Will it get to $1.50 by year end? We're going to discuss that. I have a couple things I want to share with you. This is from Sentiment. Polygon is the #1 trending token currently with about 56% positive sentiment, 15% negative. And then we also have this from Sentiment as well. They are the #1 trending social token, and partly because of their migration from Matic to POL. And then we have this open interest in the futures market. Polygon is up 27%. We'll call it 28% over the last 24 hours across the board, with a majority of it coming from exchanges like Binance, BingX, and Bybit. This is, of course, futures open interest. Then we have this from DeFi Llama. This is Polygon, total value locked, nearing $1 billion. So I have plotted here along the TVL, which is the blue line, is the transactions. So transactions on Polygon has spiked going back to November. We know the inscriptions, they had a massive spike in inscriptions as well, to which the network worked completely fine. No downtime, didn't bog down the network, didn't spike the fees like it did on, let's say, Avalanche. And then finally, this piece from newsbtc.com. Polygon's founder recaps 2023. Matic surge powers through resistance with a 4% uptrend. Despite a challenging journey throughout 2023, Polygon founder Sandeep Nalwal recently expressed his contentment with the platform's underdog status. He said, quote, Polygon is back to where it's best at being an underdog. Not going to lie, it's been a painful ride the whole of 2023, but right now, it feels incredibly liberating to be the underdog again. Is Polygon an underdog? I don't know. Furthermore, he went on to say, to outline several reasons why he believes investors should feel bullish about Polygon's prospect. One key feature is the EVM compatibility, which allows Polygon to replicate the Ethereum environment as a rollup. Another is a utilization of zero-knowledge proofs for transaction validation. We shared an article yesterday. Actually, that was not with Polygon. I'm taking a step back. But Polygon did introduce their zero-knowledge rollup, and the whole migration from Matic to POL is to be able to have one token serve all three sectors of Polygon, their layer one, their rollup to Ethereum, and also their zero-knowledge rollup as well. So that's what I have on Polygon, and we're going to get a chart from Dan on Polygon as far as where's the hidden next. If you are bullish on Polygon and you're a member, throw your Polygon emoji. If you're not a member, why not? Sign up. You get early access to videos, and you also get access to our emojis. But are you bullish on Polygon? Let us know, and I'll get Rob's input here in a second. But for me, as you guys saw in my portfolio, Polygon is 4% of my portfolio. So I'm a big believer in Polygon. It's got so many things going for it. It seems to be the blockchain of choice for large enterprises. You have the likes of Nike, Starbucks, Reddit. They all choose Polygon. And now with a suite of features, including their own layer one, including their roll up to Ethereum, and of course, zero knowledge, which is a massive, massive narrative going into not just this bull market, but for the future as well. I'm very bullish on Polygon. And so, Robin, you said $1.50 by year end. We're up 36% since you said that. Real quick, do you think Polygon is an underdog? Can you be an underdog if you're in the top 15? So the founder said.
I think so. I mean, I feel like they have the strong enough community, strong enough partnerships to be in the top 10 conversation. And I was, looking at the market cap of Polygon, and for it to get to that $1.50 mark, all it needs to do is crack into the top 10. If it gets the same market cap at $15 billion that Avalanche has sitting at number 9, it'll be at $1.50. I do think $1.50 is going to be a big level of resistance. So maybe it doesn't quite get there and stay there, but I could see a situation where you're at $1.48, $1.45. I think that is something that that's the price I'm kind of looking at. Maybe we get a short-term one candle wick up to $1.50. But what I'm excited about is that it crossed over the dollar mark and came back down and tested as support and has been trading at the dollar mark for an entire day, for an entire afternoon. So I think for the last 12 hours, also up 34%. It's up 10% on the day. I think it still has a lot more room to run. I still stand with conviction to my $1.50 range. I do think that Bitcoin consolidating, trading sideways at its 42 to 45 channel. It's exactly what we need in the alts. And the one project that's been kind of lagging behind in comparison to the other alts as of recently was Polygon. So I was expecting a breakout. Here it is. I do think $1.40 by the end of the week is
end of the week is also end of the year. So are you backtracking on $1.50?
No,
you said $1.40.
Okay, $1.48 with a wick that hits $1.50. Is that's exactly what I said earlier?
Okay, wow,
yeah,
great job. Polygon, as Robin mentioned, is up 9. Let's call it 10% on the 24-hour, 11%, or no, that's changed. Sorry, 10% on the 24-hour, 35% on the 7, and then only 42% on the 30-day. So a majority of their last 30 days gains has come in the last 7 days, with a third of it in the last 24 hours. And again, we're going to have Dan joining us in a little bit. He's going to break down a Polygon chart. Where's it headed to next? And then we have this tweeted from Elon Musk, putting NFTs back on the map. Said, whatever happened to, and then the picture, which is, of course, NFTs. We also had this piece of news. Where did you go, piece of news? Here we go. Michael Saylor. Breaking. MicroStrategy bought another 14,620 BTC for $615 million. Does this man have a gambling problem? And then this piece of news. MicroStrategy Bitcoin holdings near that of the U.S. government. So going down here, with its most recent purchase, MicroStrategy's total BTC is now only 20,000 Bitcoin short of matching the U.S. government's holdings, which is currently sitting at 210,429. Are we getting to a point where it's starting to become a net negative for this guy to just keep hoarding all the Bitcoin? We talk about adoption and institution and nation states. If this dude's holding 1.5% of the supply that's ever been issued, are people going to look at that as a risk? Because let's face it, one day is going to come where MicroStrategy, Michael Saylor, maybe he's not here anymore. Maybe he sells the company. Whatever the case may be. If someone comes in, maybe not as bullish as Bitcoin. And could that be a negative, or is it just good? Just keep buying all the Bitcoin you want, Michael Saylor. Robin?
I mean, this is what dude does, right? He's got the ultimate conviction in Bitcoin. He is the most staunch advocate for Bitcoin. He's just gonna keep buying. This is what he does. I'm not surprised. This is the last time. This is literally the last time that he's going to be able to buy Bitcoin at the price it's at. Perhaps it dips under 40,000. Perhaps, not sure. Maybe it'll dip again. But it's the last time for sure.
Cool. All right. Without further
agree, the last time you'll buy under 40,000.
I don't know. Maybe if it dips under 40, he buy.
But I think with the ETF coming, probably the last time. So I think I look at it from his perspective. Very last time he's going to be able to get it at this price. ETF coming, bye 30,000s, right?
Under 30K, yeah. We have Dan joining us from the Chart Guys. He joins us every Wednesday to break down the charts, give you some trade setups, and well, today's Wednesday, and Dan's here. Dan, how you doing, man?
I'm great. How you doing?
We're excellent, man. So happy to have you on the show today. We hope your Christmas was well. What was your favorite present you received?
Oh, just the joy of being alive.
I like that answer. I like that.
I didn't get anything.
Nothing?
No, I don't really do it. You know, I like giving gifts, you know, whatever. It's another day.
Sure saves you a lot of money. I can't say the same. My kids are... Anyways, Polygon broke $1 resistance. Where is it headed to next? Rob's saying $1.50 by the end of the year. How likely is that in your opinion? And what does the structure of the Polygon Matic chart tell you?
So yeah, last time, and props for bringing this up, because remember I don't know if it was last week, but whenever I was last on, you pointed this out, and I said, that looks like a good chart. I'm going to go share that in our chat room because I like this setup as well. And we had this really nice tightening weekly range. It broke bull. As you mentioned, the back test and hold of $1, that nice round psychological level, that's a good sign. The next level I'm looking at, 119, is a little bit of a hurdle. Nothing major, but you got a little level at 119, 125. As far as, 150 in the next, 4 days, I would bet a lot of money that doesn't happen, just probability speaking, but that's just because you're limited to a 4-day window. But yeah, it's a nice laggard break. And, we're seeing one thing that you want to be a little bit cautious of is that we're seeing all of the laggards of the laggards, meaning Matic and Link and Litecoin getting a little bit of upside, and ETH finally got its move. And so you just want to be cautious because oftentimes, when you get Litecoin making its move, that's often towards the end of the cycle. And by the cycle, I just mean, maybe that means Bitcoin's ready for weekly consolidation, but it's the party's still going. You got the back burners. We had that little drop yesterday, and Sol and OP, they hit first hourly oversold conditions. That marked the daily higher low, and then they went up into continuation, which is, again, exactly what you want to see as a bull as far as characteristics of a bull market.
All right. Can we take a look at BTC? Got down to under 42K yesterday. And it's back up over 43,000. We have the news of Michael Saylor buying Bitcoin. According to him, there is no second best to Bitcoin. Maybe Polygon is second best.
Bitcoin's the best crypto asset. What's the second best? There is no second best. There's no second best.
There you have it from the man himself. What are we looking at for Bitcoin? And is my thesis of 50 to 54K by the end of the year still have some life in it?
You guys are boxing yourself in. I guess if you gave that a while ago. Yeah, 4 days isn't a lot. We're likely to trade range bound a bit here. And that's just because we pulled back a good bit. If I like the 2-day time frame, just condense it down. And again, it's just this tightening range, just like Matic did on the weekly. This is Bitcoin on the 2-day time frame, lower high. Now we're trying for the higher low. And so what I need to see heading into tomorrow is once this bounce tops out, this is the 4-hour time frame. So we need the 4-hour higher low. We need to confirm the 4-hour uptrend. If we do that, then we have affirmed that this temporary bottom is set. And we're looking back up to the resistance zone in the 44,000. So that's the next check mark for the bulls, is confirm the 4-hour uptrend as a result of this bounce and continue tightening up on the daily time frame. And that should lead to a spike in volatility when this tightening range breaks, probably first thing next year.
Awesome. And then Dan, can we look at ETH? We got an ETH video coming out later today. It is finally moving up 6% in the last 24 hours. And then can you also on the back end as well, Dan, if you don't mind, show the Bitcoin, ETH to Bitcoin chart as well. I know that was kind of hitting a bottom the last time you were on the show. And what is the structure of Ethereum saying? I feel like a lot of people are sleeping on Ethereum. Hasn't really moved. And so, yeah.
Yeah, ETH was a nice inverse head and shoulders here where we came close to breaking, but now you can see all this support down there. We bounced off of 21.27, 21.15, 21.48. So we got a base down there, and it's just a trend change. You know, an inverse head and shoulders is a downtrend, lower high, lower low, and then you go into an uptrend, higher low, higher high. So we're testing that 24.03 top. We slowed down a little bit under that. But as you mentioned, that ETH BTC chart did make the move that we were looking for. And every day that I've been doing analysis, I just look at that line. And my analysis was, if this line is resistance, nothing is changing. And obviously you can see now we have a big shift getting over that for the first time in a long time. And so now we go out to the weekly time frame and say, all right, this is a start, but we need a lot more follow through. We're eventually going to need a weekly uptrend. And this is the bulls hoping, big picture, this is the 3-month chart. Again, just tightening ranges everywhere, but we're trying for the 3-month higher low off of this longer term support. And if we're going to have any confidence that this little double bottom can hold, we've got to confirm a weekly uptrend from here. So still a lot of work to do. And to confirm a weekly uptrend, it takes time. You know, we got to bounce for however many weeks. We got to pull back for a couple of weeks. We got to see continuation. So could take a couple months to get going, but it's just the start now. And bulls definitely want to see some follow through. This is day 1. How many days can the bulls put together?
You know, I know you take a look at the traditional stock market quite regularly. You know, S&P 500 has hit right at all-time highs where it was back in December, and you know the Bitcoin all-time high was was within a month of the S&P 500 all-time high. We've seen the S&P 500 get back to its all-time highs. We haven't seen that quite from Bitcoin. Do you expect all-time highs to kind of come into play with Bitcoin as well? Just off of the sheer kind of like, hey, they move in tandem, or at least they have recently. Is there anything you're pulling away from the S&P 500 compared to Bitcoin, or anything there?
Yeah, I used to watch the S&P 500, or specifically the NASDAQ and Bitcoin for significant correlation at times where, you know, sometimes their 5-minute charts would be doing the same thing. And now it's more of a sentiment gauge. And obviously, as you mentioned, the broader market, bulls are in full control. I mean, this is a melt up as far as just absolute V-shape, erasing months of downside, and euphoria came back real quick in the stock market. And so that definitely benefits Bitcoin. I don't necessarily think, well, the S&P 500's at all-time high, so Bitcoin's right around the corner from getting there. I think it may take a while. Again, just both the S&P 500 and Bitcoin are certainly due for weekly consolidation. And again, what would make me very comfortable would be just pull back a bit, just chill out, give me a level on the weekly, a new level. And that's what we did on the monthly for the S&P 500. We went straight up all summer, and then we pulled back. We got a new support level, and then into continuation. And so, you know, that would make me a lot more comfortable if we get that on the S&P 500 and on Bitcoin, to just have a new base longer term level. Because as we know, Bitcoin's gone straight up the last couple of months, and there's just, you know, we're establishing some supports on the daily on the way up, and certainly 40,000 now is as good as it gets as far as short-term support. But I just want a weekly level. It would make me so much more comfortable. So long story short, all-time highs are definitely in play, but I'm not going to necessarily say we're heading to all-time highs because the S&P 500 is.
And then Dan, we saw Solana run up to $122. It's pulled back a little bit. It's currently moving a little bit up 2% on the last 24 hours at about $109. What are what's a key support level, or have we hit it and we're moving back up, or is there a little more downside if people want to maybe re-enter or get exposure to Solana, but just want to wait for the best entry price?
Yeah, so that was another back burner as far as, again, the breakout, as you mentioned, very strong. And then first hourly oversold conditions when we were down, trading around 102 here, this lower wick, that RSI was down right around 30, 31. And so that marked a temporary bottom. We ended up getting a 10% bounce from that level. And my style of trading, if I'm being aggressive and playing those back burners, is I sell partial. Let's say I'm filled at 104 or 105 and I sell partial at 110. I can stick my stop under 102 and have no risk. And if that low, when you're in your strongest markets, your hourly oversold marks your daily higher low into continuation, which, as I mentioned, OP just did that. And so, you can protect yourself and put a stop under that level. And I would say, 100 psychological is the key short-term level. And I use retracement sizes to gauge probabilities, and just seeing the size of the move up, we can see we bounce right off about that 382 level. And if that holds, that's a daily bull flag. If we lose 100, then we're going to start looking for the more probable scenario being a tightening daily range, because after you get volatility, a significant amount of volatility in both directions, that's when that range tightens up. That's why Matic did it on the weekly. That's why Bitcoin's now doing it on the daily. So the question is, anytime you get a breakout into consolidation, is it 382 retracement into continuation for the flag, or is it 50% retracement plus into the equilibrium?
Now, this is actually the last time we're going to have you on this year. And so it seems kind of fitting to see what is your thoughts for 2024. Yeah, and I don't know if you look at yearly candles or if you just kind of have a thesis for the upcoming bull market, but is there anything you're eyeing or any big expectations? Or I don't know if you want to get out there on a price prediction or just maybe a strategy you have for 2024. Like, what are you most excited about, or what should the viewers here be excited about for 2024, or something to look out for?
So we're definitely heading into 2024 with bulls in full control. We've got uptrends on the monthly, weekly, daily, so all time frames. That's obviously a good thing. I am in cautious mode, and there's a lot of different ways that traders can position themselves. If you've got a smaller account, if this is your first bull cycle, you're being real aggressive. For me, this is my third bull cycle in crypto, and I'm in cautious mode in terms of I'm not giving back any of my gains. And so I'm open to the possibility. I really dislike it's very difficult because I do use social sentiment with my trading to a certain degree. And I look on Twitter, and everybody on Twitter is uber bullish 2024. Can't wait. We're going so much higher. And so that gives me a bubble, perception. That's a little, too euphoric for me. But then you got to think, okay, well, what about the rest of the world that's not on crypto Twitter and, that aren't talking about cryptos at this point in time? So it's a little bit difficult to balance that in terms of, being on an echo chamber. But overall, definitely bullish. I'm not going to be fighting this momentum whatsoever, but I am preparing for the possibility that we don't hit all-time highs in Bitcoin in Q1 2024, and that surprises people a bit and perhaps leads to a little bit of that cooling off of that euphoria. But there's a lot to be looking towards in markets. I mean, I love cannabis stocks, and there's the potential of rescheduling. There's significant opportunity in cannabis stocks if we get that kind of federal change news. So a little bit off topic for crypto, but there's a lot of excitement in markets out there. And these crypto stocks have been on absolute fire. MARA is just exploding to the upside. And as a day trader, I don't even look for day trades anymore. I just know I'm trading MARA and Riot every single day in one direction or the other. So it's nice to have this opportunity back again, and bulls are in the driver's seat, and just wait for the bears to prove something. I definitely am not going to fight the bulls, but a bit cautious from the euphoria.
You mentioned the tweet, and here's the tweet. Call me a buzzkill, but in my 13 years of trading, nothing makes me more cautious. And you quoted us. Why, Dan, why can't we have some positive, man? We've been through a crappy bear market. Why can't we just get excited for 5 minutes?
You can definitely get excited. I wasn't throwing shade.
I'm just kidding, brother. I thought it was actually really funny. I thought it was real. Yeah, I do agree with you. We say, hey, when your coworker or your aunt comes up to you and says, how can I buy Bitcoin? Usually a top signal.
And we will also tweet on top of that tweet later in 2024.
Double tweet it.
If it's
absolutely.
a fucking amazing,
Call me out.
if it's an amazing 2024, we're retweeting that retweet.
If it's not, I quit.
I'm the first one to raise my hand and say I'm wrong. Absolutely. Have at it.
You know, it is always good to there's always what if scenarios, right? Worst case scenarios. And you always want to be prepared for the absolute worst case. Even if you're wrong, what's the worst that can happen? You have some stable coins that are earning you some interest. And Dan, we love having you on, man. Thank you so much, guys. If you want more Dan in the chart, guys, we did pin their YouTube channel in the comment section. So go subscribe to their channel. It's been a pleasure having you on the show, man. Thank you so much. It's been a great year. We hope you have a happy new year, my friend. And we look forward to seeing you again.
Awesome. Same to you all. Have a great day.
Take care, brother.
Thank you. Yeah, there's no guarantees. So, you know, all joking aside, I'm pretty damn certain the bull market's coming in full swing, but there is really no guarantees. So I wouldn't mortgage the house and everything you own.
Don't tell that to Sailor.
I wouldn't mortgage the house and everything you own on the Bitcoin market. Even Sailor, if the market did downturn, he's going to be fine. He's not going to lose his house. So,
do you know that for a fact?
I mean, maybe he will. Who knows? I do want to give a little love to the chat. We got 228 people, 95 likes. So we have less than a 50% like ratio. So I call on you. I call to action, the like button. Have you hit it? If you have not, shame on you.
Just don't hit it twice.
Now, do want to give a little love to some of the new people here. We got 94 clips. Razmi, Grid 414, Raymond, Matt the Mailman, Cody's World, Andrea, Rodney Crowden. Also, I don't know if you're still here, but Investing Bros was here earlier. Alex O, some other creators alongside of us. And to all of you, hola! Welcome to Sin City.
You know, guys talked a little macro. So we have new all-time highs, but it's a bad thing. U.S. national debt reaches new all-time high. This is from the Cryptopolitan.
Yeah.
In a recent and alarming economic development, the U.S. national debt has escalated to a staggering $33.9 trillion. And this is, my friends, is why you want to make sure you have some Bitcoin, or if not a majority, in your portfolio. And then we have this expert share predictions for financial markets in 2024. The big question looming over the global equities market is whether the rallying trend fueled by optimism over potential Federal Reserve rate cuts can sustain its momentum, or will a slowdown in the global economy play the party pooper, dampening demand and deflating the balloon of investor optimism? Can you imagine, Robin? We have the ETF is here. The S&P starts to go down. NASDAQ's going down. Global markets are taking 20%, 25%, and Bitcoin makes a new all-time high. Can you imagine the amount of money and coverage and narrative that's going to come not only to Bitcoin, but to crypto as well? What are your thoughts on that?
I would like the support of the broader markets. I'd rather we be in a position of printing and euphoria and all markets rallying, because money pours over, right? People are making money on the S&P 500. They're making money in their stock portfolio. They're taking their gains and they're moving it into more risky projects like Bitcoin. That's for the people outside of our circle. Now, would it be surprising to see the broader markets shift downwards into a recessionary period? We're in a credit bubble. Bubble could pop. There's a lot of misleading numbers, like the unemployment is damn near at a record low again at like 3-point-something%. And, a lot of this is misconstrued, right? You got people working multiple jobs. You have women in the workforce that traditionally weren't there. And so if you were to look at back in the 80s, for example, you say, hey, unemployment doesn't get down this low. It's a strong working environment, right? It's a strong market. But take that with a grain of salt, because, well, people are taking 2 jobs to survive. No longer can the stay-at-home wife stay at home. She's got to go work as well. And now you got to ship the kids off to daycare. And also, credit card bills are out of control, and people can barely afford student loan repayments. So could we go into a recessionary period? Absolutely. But will Bitcoin rise from the ashes of that? I think that is a strong possibility. But what we would like to see, if you're a bullish on the price of Bitcoin, you want to see upside, you want to see new all-time highs, you want to see price discovery and the well past the six figures into the $100,000 Bitcoin, $200,000 Bitcoin, $500,000 Bitcoin. If that's what you want, you really need a perfect storm of financial events. And that would need, you would need not only the ETF, not only the halving, but you would also need the S&P 500. You would need the world governments, particularly the United States government, the United States markets to be booming because money pours over. And that's what we saw in 2021. And so that's what ideally what I would like to see. And it seems like we're in that direction. However, I would caution you to say that we are in a credit bubble, as David was mentioning. And could it pop? Could it put the brakes on where Bitcoin could go? I think so. But I do believe the cycle is coming. Having ETF, you're not going to stop the new all-time highs. Just how high will it go? I think that depends on the broader markets.
Now, speaking of crypto, but this from Alley Charts, around $24.2 billion is flowing into the crypto market, the highest capital inflow since December of 2021. Look at that. And of course, as you can see here in the black line, when capital markets started flowing, Bitcoin started getting to their all-time highs. So we're seeing a lot of money flowing to Bitcoin. I think Bitcoin is so unique in that once that ETF is available and your traditional investor can get direct access to Bitcoin via the ETF, even if the markets are tanking, if Bitcoin starts to perform, I think it'll get even more people because you're going to have certain people, circle of friends. Let's say 1 out of 10 circle of friends you have is going to have money in Bitcoin. Everyone's going to be like, oh man, my portfolio's so down. I got to push my retirement back. And that one friend that's got Bitcoin is going to be like, hey man, my portfolio's up like 40%. I don't know what you guys are talking about. Well, how's your portfolio up 40%? I moved 5% into Bitcoin. And then, well, I want 40%. I don't want to lose money. And that can potentially create a snowball effect to where more and more people are going to go where the gains are. We saw it happen in the traditional markets, in the economy, right? S&P typically on average 7 to 9% over the last 4 decades. U.S. Treasuries, 1%, 0.5%. Once the interest rates started going up, money started flowing out of stocks and into money market funds, right? So a lot of money is parked there. Once these interest rates starts coming down, that money is going to move somewhere where people are going to get more gains. And if you're looking at what is Bitcoin going to do and is doing, what is the stock market doing? What is it going to do? Credit event, people are going to sell off. Chances are a lot of people are probably going to move money into Bitcoin. So very bullish on that. Also very bullish on Japan, the 3rd largest economy in the world. They're considering tax relief for domestic firms that are holding crypto. This could potentially be huge. If approved, the tax reforms are slated to take effect in the fiscal year 2024. Now, imagine you're a company and imagine you hold assets, treasury assets, whatever the case may be. Now, in Japan, if you hold crypto on your balance sheet, Bitcoin, Ethereum, whatever you want to say, you can get a tax relief. This is pretty big to me. Robin, what are your thoughts?
Makes a lot of sense for companies, right? Here's the thing, like, how are you supposed to tax commodities? If I hold oil or if I hold gold, you don't get taxed on those on a annualized basis, right? You don't get taxed on currency. The currency and commodities don't get taxed unless you sell for a profit, right? If I buy gold for $1,000 and I hold it for 10 years and I sell it, I have unrealized gains where I need to pay for that upon selling. And that makes sense. But to sit here and tax people on a yearly basis and make tax laws complicated, just bundle it up in the same way that you tax commodities. I think that's the simplest way. Now, I don't know how the taxation in Japan works, but I'm pretty sure they probably tax commodities in a certain way there as well. And at least here in the States, that's something I think that we need. is clarity for taxation in crypto because it's extremely confusing. Tax season's around the corner, and I have no interest in dipping my toe into my own taxes because I do way too much buying and selling of crypto randomly, especially at 3 a.m. in the morning. When I've read some article, I probably made me go bullish. But anyways, little clarity, man. Simple.
So you do the same thing you make fun of me for doing.
Yeah, but mine were smart investments. Yours are not.
Okay. Also, someone said earlier, Rob looks like the kind of guy that's got a full-length mirror in his room. Is that true?
I do not have a full length mirror. I have a big mirror in my bathroom.
Ashley, do you believe him?
Oh, actually, no, you're right. I do have a full length
Thank
mirror.
you.
Yeah.
Ashley, what are the odds he has more than one full-length mirror in his bathroom or in his house?
There's no way he doesn't look at himself all day long.
Interesting.
Everywhere he goes in his house.
Everywhere.
I got a button on myself. Hi. There I am. Look at that handsome man.
All right.
That's right.
Let's move on.
I don't know.
Some altcoin news.
Mm-hmm.
Optimism and Arbitrum.
Hold on.
What?
I'm back.
Okay, enough.
Go away.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm back.
Can we cut him off? Optimism, Arbitrum, and how 2023 was a year of layer 2. 2023 saw increased usage of layer 2s, and it kicked off with a significant uptick in demand for layer 2 scaling solutions. This was evidenced by the notable hike in monthly gas fees spent by these protocols to settle activity on the Ethereum-based layer, and is speaking about Arbitrum, Optimism, Polygon-matic, and another one is Base. Coinbase's layer 2, as Base's not so brief stint at the top of the world. Some charts here in this that are pretty good. So this one, monthly Ethereum gas fees that are used to settle on the Ethereum layer 1 from the layer 2s, you can see here, have been trending up since February, call it March of this year. What ETH L2 are you most bullish on, Robin? Optimism, Arbitrum, Polygon-matic.
Yeah, I was about to say, can I throw Polygon in there? It's not exactly a scaling solution, so kind of in a different boat than some other ones. Polygon leverages the security of Ethereum, and it's all in the same, written in the same language. And so dApps can be ported over to Polygon seamlessly, run for a lot cheaper, and the throughput is through the roof. So Polygon just makes sense. Although I'm not discounting Arbitrum and Optimism, they are an integral part of Ethereum's ecosystem.
There's rumors that Base might come out with a token.
No, zero chance.
Zero chance?
Zero chance.
Bro.
They're a publicly traded company that issues stocks. They cannot.
Ripple is going public.
They cannot issue
Ripple is
a
going
token.
public.
They cannot issue a
Ripple
token.
is going public.
That's because they already had their token out. It's already been deemed not a security. The asset, only how it's sold. Now, you can't issue a token without it being parallel to issuing stock. They can't. You can do it the other way around. You can't do it this way, though. In the same way, you can sell equity of your company freely prior to going public. But after you go public, you can't just sell parts of your company, your equity, or your company. You can't do it in reverse. And so this is the same thing. You can't launch a token that arguably will be a security when it comes out. You can make the same case that Bitcoin, when it first came out, was a security. There was one man, Satoshi, that ran the network. He turned it off a couple times, adjusted the network, and then he is the one doing all the mining. He was the one promoting it. It was extremely, extremely centralized. Same can be said for Ethereum. Name a crypto. They were all securities when they first came out in the eyes of the government. And realistically, they still were. Even an individual like myself, it is hard to launch a decentralized product, if not impossible. And so if you're going to issue out a new security in your publicly traded company, it's just not going to happen, man. It's not going to happen. There's no chance. There's no chance. No chance Coinbase issues out a coin. Zero.
I think this whole launching a decentralized company or how it's looked upon. I think a lot of it's going to come down to how DAOs are treated. We know there's been lawsuits against DAOs. They've been summoned to court. No one shows up. So that's an intriguing thing to me, because essentially, if we're able to launch a DAO and then launch a crypto project or a blockchain from the get-go, technically that shouldn't be a security, but who knows?
I would say this. I wouldn't be surprised if Base had a stablecoin. Now, backed by one-to-one reserves in $1, publicly traded company. It's going to be extremely transparent. Makes a lot of sense. Keep it within their own ecosystem.
Don't they already do? And
no,
in
they use
in USDC.
Yeah, but they're using
Coinbase owns part of that company. Coinbase
they might have a vested interest, but they don't own the company. They're not a majority share owner. So they might launch their own. Yeah, I mean, I could see that. That would make sense financially. And then if you have it backed one-to-one, publicly traded, you're extremely transparent. You can say, hey, this is nothing to do with profit sharing or issuing out stake in a company, and you keep a dollar pegged stable coin. It makes sense financially. I wouldn't be too surprised to see that. Now, do I think they'll do it? Probably not, but I don't know.
Okay. Let's move on to this. Analyst says this incredibly undervalued Ethereum rival is a contender for top 10. That is none other than Near Protocol. Pseudonymous analyst, the crypto dog, tells his 750,000 followers on social media that the smart contract platform Near is currently trading below its fair value. According to this man, Near has the fundamentals to compete for a spot in the 10 largest digital assets by market cap. He said, quote, strong tech and well-capitalized. It just needs a narrative and some retail FOMO. A pump encourages both. We take a look at top 10.
I disagree. It is up 40% on the week, 120% on the month. It's absolutely ripped. Now, it is in the top, it's outside the top 20. So does it have room to pump? Yes. But I think it's already pumped. So
it needs a 4X to get into the top 10.
Yeah, I think it's already ran up quite hard. I mean, think of all the people that have purchased it at $1, right? I mean, look at the 1 month chart. I mean, there's up until this last month. So all of 2022, 2023, you've been able to buy Near Protocol for under $2. And so there's going to be a ton of holders at $1. It's sitting at $4 right now, up 40% on the week, over 100% on the month. I mean, could it 2X? Yeah, I think so. A 2X is on the table. I think $8. Once you start getting in that $10 range, I just think there's going to be a lot of sell pressure. People are going to be sitting on some massive gains, and I think they're going to spill that over. I don't think there's enough conviction from all of the people that bought Near to hold it all the way through a bull market without taking profits.
But you can say that about every coin, right?
No, you can't. I can't say that about Bitcoin. I think there's people that have Bitcoin conviction, Ethereum conviction.
But we're not talking about literally replacing Bitcoin.
No, but what I'm saying is that people are less likely to exit their Bitcoin position, their Ethereum position, their Cardano position, their Solana position, because they're so married to the project. I think that at $1, I believe in Near, but I just have this feeling that there's not enough conviction from the retail side to hold Near past 10x. If you bought it at $1 and it's at $10, I just don't see people having the conviction to hold it all the way through a bull market without skimming profits and pouring that over into other projects. Not in the same way that people are willing to long-term hold Ethereum and Bitcoin. And for that reason, I just don't see it rallying as hard as this synonymous person is saying. I do believe in Near long-term. We just did a video on Near, pretty good one we launched late last week. And we're bullish on the project. I would just say in the short term, it's already pumped. It's over 100%. I think there's some other projects that are likely to outperform Near Protocol within the next 4 months. And so in the shorter time horizon, I would be looking at some other layer ones.
I want to know what the chat thinks. Do you think Near Protocol can crack the top 10? Put a 1 for yes, put a 2 for no. And then we just had a super chat from Scotty Moe. He said, what does Scotty Moe say? Let's take a look. He said, want to swap 10K XRP into a longer hold for the bull run? Would you go Link, AVAX, or Sol? XRP is like a stable coin at this point. I'll let you take this one first, Robin.
I actually would. Okay. Well, you gave some options: Link, AVAX, or Solana. All three of them have pumped. XRP haven't. And what happens when you sit on a token and you're like, this thing hasn't moved in forever? I swear to God, every time you sell, you're like, well, I've been holding it for a year and hasn't moved. You sell it. What happens in the next week? It rallies. So regardless of the narrative, the bull market, the CCIP with Chainlink, Solana phone, like regardless of those narratives, regardless of the impending court case with XRP, I stand with my trading strategy, my portfolio strategy. If I've held a token and it hasn't moved for too damn long, I never sell, because every time I have, it ends up biting me in the ass. Hey, you've had that same scenario, right?
Of course.
Every time you go to sell a token that hasn't moved, what happens within the next?
I move the markets, just not for myself.
Exactly. And I could easily make a scenario for all three of those tokens, how they're going to outperform XRP. I could easily say Solana is going to outperform XRP. I think it probably will. I can easily say the same thing about Avalanche and what was the last one? Solana?
Chainlink.
I could easily give you all three scenarios on why they're going to outperform XRP. But if I'm vested in a token that hasn't moved, I can't let it go. I'm just going to wait it out. That's me.
So what's your best case scenario for XRP at the top of the bull run?
I think if the halving comes around and the lawsuit is 100% done and over with, it's going to be an absolute moonshot. And the price that it is now.
Okay, hold on. You keep bringing up the lawsuit for XRP is over.
No.
For XRP token, it is over. It is not a security. That is the big thing people say.
But it requires.
So what else do you need?
Okay. What is Okay. You got to think. XRP's use case is to move money between banks, central banks, and companies, right? All the banks, central banks, and companies realistically operate within the United States or within the SWIFT system, or in some form, they have multiple touch points across companies that are grounded in the US. And if there is a ongoing court case that there's no verdict on there, it has not been judged on. Now you've said the XRP token is not a security. Well, you know what? RippleNet doesn't even need XRP to facilitate movement. And so XRP or Ripple has come out and said you don't need to hold XRP to use the network. But to use the network in the US-based system, you need to not be in an open court case with them. And so that's all it relies on. Now, we can sit here as crypto nerds and be like, well, it doesn't matter. They've already said it's not secure. They're still in a court case. There's no bank in the world that's going to touch Ripple or use it when there's an open court case with the SEC versus Ripple. Like, they're not going to.
But it's no longer SEC versus Ripple. It is SEC versus Garlinghouse and
no, they dropped the Garlinghouse and one. And the court case is now strictly between Ripple Labs and the SEC. The other two charges against Brad Garlinghouse and what was the other guy?
Jed McCaleb?
No. Brad Garlinghouse, and you just said his name. Anyways, those have been dropped. And the summary judgment has said that the XRP token is not a security. It's only how it's sold. It doesn't, and you know what? You can even say that's still a stain, right? Because Ripple has sold a token illegally, which could be deemed a sale of a security. The same way that a house or real estate is not a security. If you package them up and sell them in a certain kind of way, you're selling securities. And so is there some legal liabilities to Ripple in their business model? Could be.
Chris Larson, there it is. Yeah. I don't know. I do agree that once you do sell your bag, it pumps. So if you are going to do that, I would say keep maybe half of it in XRP and then move the other half into Solana and Chainlink. And that's to me, that's no shot against Avalanche. I do think Avalanche is going to be big, but at this point, you know, you get that feeling everything starts pumping. You want exposure to this and this and this and this. Unless you're a multimillionaire or unless you have $100 in 700 different projects, your better chance of just picking the ones you really, really like, have the most potential, line up with what your game plan is for your portfolio or for your investment and going with those and try to, instead of trying to spread yourself way too freaking thin. So that is what I would do. For me, like $3-4 for XRP, I would be happy, but that's what, a 7x, 8x? Where in my opinion, Chainlink is going to 20x, Solana is going to probably 10x or more, Avalanche 10 to 15x. So I'm a little more bearish on XRP than a lot of people are. That's just me personally. Also, big shout out to Tom Crown in the chat. Tom, how you doing, man?
Also, big shout out to some of the new people here. If you are new, say hello so we can drop an hola back at you. We're officially over the 50% like ratio, so big shout out to you. But if you'd like to join the club and not be left out, hit the like button so that way I can smile at you. Also, a couple of new people. JD, Ultimate Finish, Overcome, XRP Ally, Josh Brown, Retail Crypto News, Brandon, Flow So Cold, and Scotty Mo. To all of you, hola! Welcome.
Very cringe.
Yes.
I would rather look at this dog smiling. Dogecoin now has 5.3 million holders. How does it compare with other top crypto coins? Well, let's find out. You have Ethereum coming in at 103 million wallets that have a balance. Bitcoin number 2 at 51 million. Litecoin 7.7. Avalanche 6.3. And Doge 5.29 million addresses that have a balance of Dogecoin. Should we be holding some Doge heading into this bull market, Robin? Whether it's the Elon Musk thing, whether it's it's been around since 2013, whether it's forms of payment on whether it's X or anywhere else, Dogecoin is an OG. Would you be stupid to not have any exposure going into the next bull market? And what's your best case scenario for Doge at the height of the bull market?
Well, the bull market has always included Doge, right?
No way.
And it's always ripped. It's always pumped and outperformed.
Everything pumps.
When did Doge come out? 2013?
2013.
Yeah. It's gonna rip.
But to
right?
what? Will it get to $1?
I just don't. My thing
Will it get to $1?
$1?
It got to 70 cents last cycle.
Yeah, I think it will. I just don't know if the rest of the altcoin markets. I don't think the rest of the altcoin markets did not. I just don't know if the rest of the altcoin markets are going to rally as hard as Bitcoin or vice versa. Excuse me. I'm thinking here. I'm thinking. All right. I think layer ones are going to outperform Dogecoin. I think that where Dogecoin is in the top 10, I think Polkadot, Polygon, Chainlink will all outperform it, and it'll lose market value.
So you think it'll drop out of the top 10?
Yeah. I think that Cardano, Avalanche, XRP, and Solana, all ahead of Dogecoin, are going to outpace it heavily. And I think they're going to widen the gap. Also, I think Polygon will flip Dogecoin. I think Polkadot will flip Dogecoin. I think Chainlink will flip Dogecoin.
So will Dogecoin be in the top 20?
Yeah. It's going to move. It's going to rally with the rest of the markets. I think it'll get to the dollar. I think, but the thing is also meme coins are even Doge are very volatile. They'd have larger swings, bigger upside. Look at the last bull market with Elon Musk. We saw him tweet about Doge and it would rally hard. And then all of a sudden, Tesla stopped accepting Bitcoin. Then that would pull back. And then you had the Dogecoin on SNL and Elon Musk. It's very volatile compared to some of the other alts. And so I do think that it might peak out at $1. I would be better positioned. I would feel more comfortable being positioned in some other layer ones than.
Let me ask you a question. Do you think Axie Infinity will get to its last all-time high, but also have the same market share?
No, because it's relying on their game. I think they're gonna really underperform this year.
Part of the reason I'm assuming, and I'm kind of putting words in your mouth here, but part of the reason I'm assuming is because there's new games, the new shiny toy, the new game came out. People, right? Right?
Yeah, there will be new games. I just, it's
Okay,
all reliant.
Will the new games take eyes off of Axie and move investment into those new games?
I think that the broader markets in crypto will rally. Profits will spill over into Axie. Axie will rally, but I think it's going to lose. It's going to lose its place where it is. Where is Axie? It's in the top 50, right?
No.
Where is Axie Infinity? It's up here. It's number 60 on the CoinMarketCap list. I think it's going to fall. I think it's going to lose its positioning where it is. I think that the top 100, I still think so. It stays there.
Can I say the same thing about Doge? Right? Doge is in a sector that there's a new meme coin every day. Every damn day, there's a new freaking meme. What? There's a new damn meme coin every damn day. So can I say the same thing in terms of, hey, there's a new meme coin. I can get 100x, or I can invest in Doge and maybe get a 10x, right? It's not like currently Doge is doing anything, right? It's a meme coin. The founder itself said, hey, look, it's just whatever. I don't believe anyone's working on it. The only thing is Elon Musk propping it up, using it as payments, and it's an OG. It's been around since 2013. But can't you argue that Pepe, Bonk, Cock, insert the name, next one to come up, more money's going to flow into that. People are like, I'm over here getting like 100%, 200% gains on Doge in 6 months. These mofos over here are making millions on a new meme coin. It does the same thing. Can't you say the same thing about that? You see where I'm going or no?
I'm very curious to see where the meme coin market goes. Because right now it's off. It's on and popping. Right now it's frothy. It seems like the meme coin market is going to rip, like try to identify which small meme coin projects to get in on. But I don't know, man. I just think that the smart money's coming in. The big money, the institutions is coming to play. They're having a seat at the table. They're going to be interested in the Bitcoin, Ethereum, also venture capital based companies, Solana, people working with real world companies like Chainlink. I just don't know if the meme coin market's gonna rally, man. I really don't. I think you're gonna get a couple little pops from different tokens. But I don't think what happened in 2021. 2021, you had thousands of meme coins all making people millionaires, right? Now there was also hundreds of thousands of meme coins that went to zero, but there was thousands of meme coins that just ripped. And now we can look at the aftermath and we can say, oh, hey, there was really 2 or 3 that stood out, but there was a lot of them that rallied for a month or 2 or for 3 months. And they're all completely dead now. I just don't think we get that. I think that we get a smaller percentage of strong meme coins, a smaller dominant meme coin market. And I think that the altcoins, the layer ones, are going to be the winners of this one. I think this is the year of the Ethereum. I if you don't have exposure to Ethereum, I think you are absolutely missing an opportunity because the ETH ETF, if this thing goes live, dear Lord, if you don't have exposure to Ethereum, shame on you because you're going to miss out, bro. You tattoo FOMO on your forehead, bro. I'll leave it at that.
We had a super chat from Overcome said, chance of ETF approval not being a sell the news event.
0 chance.
Okay, so I was on a Twitter Spaces last night with Gary Cardone. Big shout out to Gary. We're gonna bring him on the show again. And there was a Twitter handle, Macro something, and they said they brought up some good points. Right, we're gonna see a rally leading up into really the majority of people have firm on the ETF. Right, then you're gonna have what's called seeding, which BlackRock said they're gonna be seeding about $10 million of the ETF on January 3rd. Which, by the way, guys, January 3rd, we got James Seyfert, the Bloomberg ETF analyst, will be joining us the same day BlackRock is seeding $10 million in ETF. So do not miss that show. So you're going to have that, right? That's going to pump the markets. And then on average, ETFs take about 90 days to be available for trading. So worst case scenario, and I do think it's going to happen before that, but worst case scenario, you have a 3-month window of trading not happening. But you also have the halving coming. And typically we see a dip we see a rally and then a dip. Halving happens, we consolidate, and then we shoot to the moon. So I'm not going to say it's a 0% chance. I'll maybe put it at a 5 to 10% chance that it is a sell the news event.
Yeah, you're right. I don't like to go uncertainties, but pretty damn close to 0. Put it that way.
But here's the thing, right? If you're going to sell the news, if we're at 55K and you sell the news, where would Bitcoin stabilize? 45,000, 40,000. If it gets under 40, you know there's going to be bids. At the very least, we know Michael Saylor will buy, right? That's hundreds of millions of dollars. We know that'll be an opportunity from not only investors, but from institutions, from nation states. So I think Bitcoin has a lot going for it. And at this point, you got to ask yourself a question. Am I willing to sell a portion of my Bitcoin to get a little bit of a cheaper entry price or have the opportunity cost of missing out on a massive pump to $100,000, $150,000, $200,000? That's a question only you can answer, my friend. Do want to give a shout out to our channel sponsor, CAMS Blue Wire Technology. If you want to learn how they can help your business scale and grow, there is no better company to call than CAMS Blue Wire Tech. You can visit bluewiretech.com or click the link in the description of this video. Also, guys, go follow us on Twitter at SinCityCrypto1 and make sure to go check out our last video. We did a video on 3 Solana ecosystem projects that you need to know about. We talked about Marinade Finance, we talked about Radium, and we talked about Metaplex. Very, very, very interesting what Metaplex is doing. Super bullish on that one. So go check that out. And if you're a member, you do get those videos early access. We got an Ethereum one coming out today, right after the show. So if you want early access to that before anyone else in the public sees it, join, become a member. You'll be supporting the channel as well.
We're still looking for our newest whale member. We got a fun animation
say that
for you.
every freaking show.
I know, man. Not one of y'all got $25 y'all can throw at us.
Are you soliciting money?
No.
Yes. Wow.
No.
Anyways, Ashley, any parting words?
I got nothing.
Nothing. Not a
Nothing.
single thing.
Not a single thing.
Mm.
Okay.
Sorry.
Robin? You've spoken
I
enough.
No.
Robin.
So I do have a couple new people to shout out to. We got Tella One, Hex Futures, Trap Gravity, Marcavelli, Crypto Shifters. To all of you. Oh, and also Hexwood. A lot of Hex people up in here.
Huh.
Where Richard Hart at? Anybody got the alpha?
You said you were going to do the backdrop thing. Where is it?
Oh, yeah, I need to work on that one. Anyways, to all of you, hola, adios.
Hola, adios. With that being said, Ashley, you got to put the camera on me, bro.
My bad. I'm going.
Ashley. Thank you so much for tuning in, guys. We hope you had a great time. We hope you learned Thank you so much for joining us. Come back tomorrow for another great show. We have all of us here. This is your crypto. We love you guys. Till tomorrow.
Sin City, crypto. Everybody know we here for entertainment and info. Gonna show you how to get that big dough. So every day stay tapped in for big facts, no capping. With Bitcoin, if you're in, then you win. We divide the pie with no fraction. It's Big Rob, David. I spit the game, but they gave it. Name the coin that's your favorite. I got dry powder, why save it? To the OGs, new beginners. Special shout out to the well members. Buy the dip, sell winners. Ain't really nothing you can tell sinners. Tune in for the latest new flavors. They gonna teach us mean coins. They polarizing like barbecue chicken pizzas. I laugh with a major grin. Laggers, we trade them in. Baddies, they came to sin. And sinners gon' play to win. Screaming hola till my bags are flowing over. Hold ya to the moon and to the solar. Won't don't be letting FOMO control ya. It's over when the finger tornado close ya.